Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it means to have your Venus falling into someone's 12th house in Synastry or their Venus falling into your 12th house. How does this feel? What is the vibe of this Synastry overlay? So this one can actually be really, really good. There's a certain element of like romanticism and like fatedness and like a karmic love energy that can be either more difficult depending on the personalities or really really good for certain types of personalities. So it there's a certain type of person that likes 12th house synastry, and then there's other types that don't enjoy it so much. But Venus, of all the planets, actually functions the best in the 12th house because of, the Pisces connotation of the 12th house and Venus's exaltation in Pisces. So, like, out of having any planet in the 12th house in synastry, you're going to want it to be Venus for, the most beneficial energy there. So, with that being said, this can actually be quite a good overlay to have that really adds, yeah, like I said, that level of like romance and fatedness. And, there is kind of a mystery about it as well, where the Venus person can sort of feel like the house person is like this overly mystical and mysterious person. Whether or not they actually are, it's not shown by this, but the Venus person definitely sees the house person as like this romantic object that they just can't quite put their finger on. And then the house person can kind of sense that the Venus person is seeing them in this way and feel like, oh, I don't mind being the object of romance or being seen in this kind of fantasy way. I mean, they might like that as well. So there is definitely a certain mystical energy. And another big part of it is like, this can go both ways too. This can be a very generous overlay of Venus, where the Venus person can see the house person as someone that they want to help in some way or like serve in some way. The 12th house and the 6th house can kind of have this energy of service. The 12th house being in a more like heart centered way where you really like this person a lot and you want to give to them just unconditionally from your heart, no strings attached. So there can be a bit of that energy with this overlay as well, a kind of like unconditional givingness. Now, sometimes the 12th house can show up in affairs where, we're giving love and we're, giving our energy to this person, but we're not expecting it to be like a first house relationship or a 10th house relationship. Like in the public eye, we're actually kind of okay with it being a secret, when, especially with Venus in the 12th house, you can see that there's not like, and you have to look at everything else too, but with Venus in the 12th house overlay, it's like you're happy to just love them. You don't need to put labels on it. And if they do come, you're okay with that too, maybe depending on if the rest of the synastry is good. But so there can be an element of like this being a secret relationship, or there's an element of like givingness where, and it can be both people too, not just the Venus person giving. The house person can be very giving as well. And the Venus person definitely stirs up the house person in a major way. Like, the thing with 12th house overlays is the house person can sometimes act in ways that they don't even understand, because the 12th house is what is actually hidden from us. It's deep in our unconscious. So the Venus person actually can stir the house person in such a way that they act out of character, and maybe they're, more giving than they actually would be, or more romantic than they actually would be, or more confused. So, well, that is a possibility with the 12th house overlays, is that there's this element of confusion, or like, you can't quite put your finger on what this relationship is. And now that could be different if there's like tons of Saturn aspects and other overlays going on, right? You have to look at everything. But with this one, there can be an element of confusion. There's something, ethereal or spiritual or mystical about this relationship. And that can be very romantic and attractive. And, the mystery can be kept alive. When we have a long-term relationship with Venus in the 12th house, we can continue to fantasize about our partner. Like, we can feel like they are the dream lover, right? And that doesn't get old. The house overlays don't really fade ever, like this is always going on. So if you do end up in a long-term relationship with this overlay, that energy can continue throughout the whole relationship, which can be a great benefit to a relationship, having this sense that you have this deep spiritual soulmate bond with someone. That can really help a relationship. And the givingness and the open-heartedness, and the feeling like you want to serve this person in some way, that's really good. And especially if your love language is like acts of service or something, this is a really good overlay to actually have. And it could even be very artistic as well, because it's kind of like with this overlay too, you could be working on something together behind the scenes, right? Because it is like, this is a more hidden overlay. When there's 12th house synastry, it's kind of like you can be working on something artistic together. You can be doing something behind closed doors together. Usually, that's where sex happens, is behind closed doors. So this can be a sexual overlay as well. Yeah, so you can definitely inspire in each other artistic or creative energies, which can be a really good thing. And you could actually work on some type of, project in those areas. Like, you could be musicians together. There's, that energy of Venus that can come out as well. Now, certain Venuses or certain people with their own unique birth charts like this overlay more than others. Like, I'll just give you an example. So my natal Venus in Aries, I don't particularly like it falling into someone's 12th house so much, because my Venus is in my first house in Aries. It's just not as naturally attuned with that place. But I like it when someone's Venus falls into my 12th house, which is in Pisces. I enjoy that. So you have to kind of look at the type of people, like the Venus, like, do they like being in someone's 12th house, like looking at the energy of their natal Venus, is this something that's attractive for them, or do they prefer the other houses, right? So yeah, you have to kind of look at the individual charts. But overall, and I mean, I don't hate having my Venus in someone's 12th house. It's fine. I've had good relationships with that. But yeah, you have to look at the energy of the Venus. Like, are they a more Neptunian? Do they like being hidden away in someone's 12th house? Or do they prefer a more dominant position or a more public position? You have to look at that, right? But overall, actually, this is one of the best overlays of Venus because of the givingness and the mystical romantic quality of it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your experiences of having your Venus in someone's 12th house or theirs in yours. How did that feel? Was it super romantic? Was it sexy? I want to know. And I am doing your requests. Let me know if you have any requests below, and I'll try to do them all. I'm just continuing Venus in the House series now. I've completed Mars through the Houses and Synastry series already. You guys should check that out if you're curious. Yeah, and just working on Venus now. And I do offer one-on-one sessions. My links are below. And yeah, anyways, talk soon. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.